Hey you guys, I will get started in a moment. Sorry guys, again, I have this different setup. I'm trying to do something nice for you guys today, and I put my fire, I got my fire going, okay? So, what is going on here? Okay guys, mostly I just want to make sure that you can see the cards and everything today. So, I'm gonna get started. I'm actually gonna pull this down a little bit. Sorry, you guys, you know how it is when you're a YouTuber. It's just, it's all fun and games until you like really want to accomplish something. Then, you know how stuff goes. Anyway, again, my information, if you do want to make any donations, is available in the description tab. Okay, otherwise, the 100% free way to support the channel is by what comes out today. I think I am going to use the white cards just because today is a new moon. So if you're not sure what you need to be manifesting, maybe the white cards will help you brainstorm something. Okay. So these are the ones I speak of, right? I'm gonna change one more thing, you guys. I'm so I'm like, I want to say sorry just out of habit, but I'm not really sorry because I feel like as I move these things around, it's actually going to benefit the reading. So I am going to put this tray down there here to throw the cards we've already pulled. It's not too warm right down here by my fireplace. As I just wanted to make sure there's not like crazy heat coming off of it. On when I looked it up earlier, it said you're supposed to close the glass back up when you're using your fireplace. So, safety first, right? It's more for ambiance, I think it's not a wood burner. Those things get really hot. Whereas gas, I feel like it's more for looks, but my house was built in the 70s, so I can't really do anything about that. Alrighty, so let's keep going here and get our white cards out, our conversation deck. Have you ever heard of conversation hearts, like the Valentine's candy that says, be mine, or maybe eat me, depending on how you're feeling, right? Oh my gosh, you guys, I had a sticker order one time and I got these stickers that were not my order, and they said things like eat me and like some other like dirty things on it. Obviously, whoever, I hope they got their stickers in time for their party. You know what I mean? Phony. Collective in 2025, the phoning it in type thing came across. So you know, yeah, like that wasn't my sticker order, you know. Did I still have some fun with it and have a good laugh? Yes. But for me to be going around saying, oh, these are my stickers and I created them and I invented this and that would be phony, right? Like there's a difference between like playing into something as a joke and like trying to pass it off as your own, right? I think most people in the collective understand that, okay? I don't know why I just felt compelled to use that example. It's kind of an oddball example, but it is one. And right, collective, just because you haven't gone through something doesn't mean you can't understand or empathize, right? So if somebody's been saying that you are phony because, you know, like, oh yeah, you're not real because you didn't grow up in the hood and you didn't have to eat uh cinnamon sandwiches and you didn't have to do this, so you're not really legit, blah blah, you know, that's their experience. Maybe your experience is different. You know, can you like actually imagine like growing up in one of those royal palaces, people like watching your every freaking move? You can't like really sneak out to the movies with your buddies. Like if you do anything wrong, you're under complete scrutiny. I mean, I'm just happy I didn't have cell phones when I was a teenager and really in college very much. You know what I mean? Like yeah, we had some like to use as a regular phone, but like we weren't like taking videos of each other doing all this dumb stuff. You know what I mean? That a lot of people grow out of eventually. Obviously, not everybody does, but here's your message to not worry. So, if you are concerned, like, you know, especially if somebody is like putting you up to some challenge, like, well, if you were one of us, you'd be doing this, or if you would, no, no, that's their experience again, not yours, right? You have to ask yourself, is that benefiting your personal growth, you know? So, you know, I know colleges are, you know, fraternities and sororities and not saying to pick on those people. I'm just saying it's, you know, a kind of organization where a lot of people feel like they can benefit, right? But collective, even if you didn't have that, don't worry. Maybe you're somebody who, yeah, you know, and you know, just because, you know, somebody might be in that organization because their father's father was in it, and gosh darn if they didn't do that too, and they carried on the name and blah blah blah. You know what I mean? Um, right? Not everybody's born with a silver spoon, but even the silver spoon gets tarnished. Okay? And who's gonna pay for that polish? All right. Okay. I'm just getting this very Dickinsonian type thing. This was coming through the other day too. Also, you know, like in the movie A Christmas Carol, where you know they're like, oh, you know, they tell the boy, no, you can stay at school over the holidays. You don't need to come home. Like that obviously broke his heart, but he was like, oh, well, this is what it means to be, you know, a man in this family. You know what I mean? So people get drawn into these situations that maybe aren't the healthiest for our um, mental, emotional, spiritual growth overall. But as you can see in that movie, as an old man, he gets inspired to change, right? And value the things that he has. I want you to meet my friends. Okay. So, collective, I feel like somebody's very interested in you and they want to find out if kind of like you are the same around so and so as you are around so and so. Like, you know, are you just putting on an act or is this kind of, and I feel like they want to count on their friends to kind of be like, yeah, they seem legitimate, you know. I saw him or her with an ex. So collective, you could have seen this person with a previous partner. So this could be kind of a surprise to you, somebody wanting you to meet their friends because you're like, well, I thought you were so and so, you know? Like, no shade, but you know, I don't do any two-timing stuff. I stay true to myself. So if you want me to meet your friends, that's fine. But, um, what's your situation with the ex, right? Yeah. It's like, and if you can't, like, honestly say you would legitimately believe this person, the story that's coming out of their mouth, you have to ask yourself why. Like, well, is it because they've proven themselves to be a phony baloney, lying, no good, whatever? You know what I mean? So yeah. Family. Okay. This person I feel like could be close to you or your family as well. Um, kind of like somebody that you know, but maybe you just don't know them in an overly personal way. Okay. Or maybe you've seen them around their family, but you haven't really seen them around their friends. It's like, okay, well, yeah, it's easy to act proper around your family, right? What are you and your friends up to, right? Mm-hmm. Will your look? Will your friend's family accept me? And yeah, because how do they act around their friends? Well, if they act like a goddamn fool, maybe your friends or family won't accept them, right? Maybe they'll be like, look, you can do better than this person. Yeah, I can't date you. I mean, that's what you know. I mean, obviously that's for you to decide, but and if there's somebody who wants to show up around town with all their exes instead of dating you, well, then again, what are your friends and family going to say? They're going to say this person's a player, or this person doesn't really understand what commitment is. This person, you know what I mean? Like, is just living in the here and now, you know? And, nobody's stopping them, but that doesn't mean they have to drag you into it, right? Yeah, hands. You'd be like, look, this is so weird. Okay. Yeah. So I had the church people that come from door to door today, at least it wasn't the Mormons today, but it was the other ones. Anyway, and I kind of had to go like this because I was like, because it's winter season. Like people have colds, and it's like I don't, what I mean. I don't want to get too close to people like that. It's not like I'm standing up on people in the grocery store either, like whispering in their ear, right? Um, So I feel like collective, there is some kind of separation or arm's length that you've already put. And I was also getting this message earlier of somebody saying, don't even think about laying a hand on me type thing. Like these people that just want to come in and reach and grab and all this stuff. Like, they failed kindergarten basically of keeping their hands to themselves. They think they need to be up hugging on you and grabbing your hand and, fucking mauling you and slapping your ass and all, giving you, kiss, all this extra stuff. And it's like, you know what? I don't even fucking know you, basically, right? And it's for show. It's for show so that they can, what I mean? I just watched some Snapchat stories about this kind of stuff. It was like this guy that was a car dealer to the stars, right? Yeah, man, rent your vehicles for me. Well, it turned out his fleet was actually rented already and he was just subleasing it, right? And so his business practices turned out to be phony, but here he's getting his picture taken with Kim Kardashian and all these celebrities making himself look good. Okay? Like, yeah. Some of these people are like not your friends, not your family. So you have a right to be like, no, no. Like, I don't care that we're in this house of worship. I don't care that we're at this social event. That doesn't mean you can grope all over me. No, it's not appropriate. It's kind of like what I was telling my dog when I was outside talking to these folks. And she's like, inside. And I heard her scratch at the door, which she is not typically a door scratching dog. So I yelled at her because I let her know that was inappropriate. You know what I mean? But she was like, yeah, I'm trying to throw hands out there too, Mom. You know, especially since I was outside of the house, you know, talking to these strangers. So she likes to make her presence known, you know. Oh my gosh, you guys, I'm getting my fence installed for her tomorrow. They said they're starting on it, so I'm so happy I'm going to have a proper fenced yard for my dog. This is so exciting. I've never had that in my whole life, so, and the fact that I'm able to do it, you know, with money I've earned and saved, so make my little girl's dreams come true. Do you need more than one ombre? See, people that like have this mindset to begin with, it's like, why am I even entertaining myself with you? You know, it's just, yeah, collective. I feel like you're just more on this type of zone, not in the, you know, everything with everybody type zone, you know? So, yeah. Okay. Let's keep going. What else are we gonna pull today? I feel like we need the Lightworker deck energy. A little bit of that would be nice. You know, something nice, something complimentary, right? You know, the Aquarians can be very contrarian. Well, wouldn't it be contrarian to compliment people instead of hating on them? Right? Which, you know, the haterade Olympics, right? That's dominated the last decade. Especially in the internet zone, right? It's because it's so easy to blindly go out there and bully and intimidate people, right? Behind these keyboards, people that would never, ever, ever dream to do this, right? You know, now some people may be like, well, the pen's mightier than the sword. They're getting their, you know what I mean? But think about the why, right? So, yeah, protection. It's just flipped out here. Call back your power, cut the cords, soul retrieval. Yeah, so collective, if there is for some reason folks that don't want to see you walking in success, you need to call back your power and energy from those people, okay? So yeah, people that want to insinuate that you're sleeping around with more than one person, people that want to insinuate that you're not good enough to hang out with their friends, family, ex, blah, blah, people that think you're not phony enough, basically, you know what I mean, to put on this act, you're protected from all of that, right? And you're allowed to call back to where you need to be. Yeah. All right. Let's keep going. Inner temple, devotion, tune into the portal of your heart. Okay. So yeah, this don't worry. I feel like you really need to center in on filling your inner temple with worry-free types of affirmations. Now, what would that be? You might be like, well, don't tell me not to worry. I have bills to pay. I have, you know, I just installed a water heater. I blah, 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 right? Well, you know, you can do positive affirmations, okay? So, you could say to yourself, I have a pure heart. I am willing to do my best every day. I will not engage with negative mindsets while achieving my goals. Okay, things of that nature. All right. So again, manifest wisely. Today is a new moon. It is the first new moon of 2025. Okay. You know, you're like, I just don't know what to do with myself. Oh, blah. Life is so terrible. There's nobody to just tell me good morning. There's nobody to tell. Well, you need to start doing that to yourself. Say good morning, you know, whatever your name is, right? That's why a lot of us have pets, because then we can say, oh, hello, doggy, good morning. You know what I mean? That kind of helps us not feel so alone, okay? Again, our pets are often affected by the moon cycles as well. There's also a very powerful planetary alignment happening right now with Jupiter, Mars, Venus. Mercury is joining soon in February, I believe. Anyway, so there's a lot of things going on, right? Allowing us to kind of say, okay, everything else is getting lined up. How do I want to line up with that in my 2025? Okay. Thank you for the new sub. Somebody posted in the chat. Trust your path. If you knew you would be supported, what would you do? Okay. Maybe you want to plan a trip across the country. And but right now, maybe you don't have the right funds for that. Maybe you don't have the right vacation time. Maybe you don't even have the right vehicle. Okay. But if you did, all right, what would that look like? Okay. Start mapping it out like as if you were like a little kid. Okay. Tell yourself, okay, where would you start? Where do you want to end? How many miles do you think you could drive in a day? Turn it into a little math problem or something, right? Um, and as you're sketching those things out, you're going to start potentially seeing actionable things to achieve those goals. Okay. And that's kind of what's important to think about with our hands, right? So many people want to use their hands for fighting and other negative type mindset things when you could be planning a road trip across the country. I remember there was some women, I think they got on Oprah or something, and they told her, they were like, in our, we started going across the country and we stopped at every Walmart along the way. you know? Um, and then but it was like, then they had to end up making rules for it because, some places had more than one Walmart in town, right? So you can't stop at every Walmart, right? So, what I mean? So it kind of piqued the interest there. That's one good thing about Aquarians is, the unconventionalism is great for brainstorming, great for starting new projects. It's, the winter season. In a large part of the world right now. It's a good time to, start in on a project where you don't have to be, you know, uh, in a team, maybe. Like maybe it's something you can do more individually. You don't have to have like extended amounts of daylight. You know what I mean? You could work on it any time indoors, things of that nature. Pastimes versus, like participating in, beach volleyball leagues in the summertime. There is a season, right? It doesn't have to last, right? So maybe you do a couple projects and then you're like, I don't know if I really like this, like I'm okay at it, blah, blah. You can set that down, right? And then you switch into the next season, right? Maybe you'll come back to it, right? Maybe you won't, right? But getting that brain going is going to help, not only your brainstorming, but achieving your other goals. Okay. Because you're going to see like how maybe easy it was for you to accomplish something that maybe you weren't even really that like interested in. And it's like, well, man, if maybe I just kind of, switch my perspective a little bit, I can achieve some things where I am actually interested in them. Right. And I'm not saying that you won't be interested in these things. I'm just saying use it as an option, use it as an opportunity of your time, you know. For some people, they're kind of like workaholics. They're like, you know what, I don't want to do that right now. I'll pick up an extra shift. Maybe that's what is part of your goal in 2025. Okay. Deep replenishment, retreat, rest, be held. Mm-hmm. Some of you could retreat into your work. Okay. Again, allowing your creative juices to flow. Okay. So, maybe you have a little office room or a little like you know, corner of your bedroom where you might like want to set up a little desk or a little, you know, like some blankets and pillows and like maybe a little bookcase or you know, a little bookshelf. I mean, you can even make a bookshelf out of like some of the stuff. Um, you know, they have little kits and stuff that they can sell like at Lowe's and stuff like that. I'm just saying, you know, whatever it is that feeds that in you. Okay. All right. Yeah, have fun, celebrate. Don't be so serious. Yeah, Aquarians, I feel like do really enjoy the lifeness, you know, that life element of the party. They like to see people enjoying themselves. They like to enjoy themselves. Okay. And I think it's because they know, you know, there's a long road ahead, right? You know, you can get all bent out of shape over some paperclip that never returned back to your desk 2 weeks ago. Or you can move on, right? You know, sometimes you got to categorize it that way. And trust me, you know, if it's an issue that is meant for you to look at, it's going to come back around. All right. So if you feel like you have tackled it to the best of your ability, then, you know, don't sweat on that. All right. I'm gonna go ahead and get my Spirit Halloween deck out here. So I want to do my, yeah, let's do our Moonology first since it is a new moon, you guys. Okay. Okay, guys. So thank you, everyone who has liked the video so far today. I do appreciate people being kind to each other in the chat. Okay. Emotions are running high. Super moon. Yeah. You know, since this is the first new moon of 2025, there could be a lot of expectations. There could be a lot of, you know, maybe you already broke off of, you know, your gym goal of going 3 times a week, right? Because life happened, right? You know, does that make you phony? No, that makes you human. Okay, so you know, think about maybe this year as you're manifesting, manifesting a little bit of forgiveness for yourself, okay? Because as much as we work, as much as we try, there are just things that are going to happen in a timing that unfolds for us, right? That we cannot necessarily rush through, okay? You know, even those of you with regular, like, you know, like maybe you work, maybe you're like some systems admin at a hospital or something, right? And, you know, oh, they were going to have this new system in at the end of last year, but then, you know, something happened, blah, blah, blah. And now they're not, maybe not even going to get to it till like June, right? Okay. Do you sit there and hold it against your workplace and say, right? I mean, they're still paying you, right? Okay. It's kind of like that, you know, like don't get too bent out of shape because it didn't happen on whatever schedule that somebody planned out before all the poop hit the fan, right? Yeah, hold your vision. Okay. Yeah, things are going to happen. Not everything is going to go according to plan, but you know what? Um, that's when all these things that you mapped out, it's like, well, I tried that path. Now I know that was a dead end. I'll turn around and now we can cover up that path. And now I only have, say, these two paths left to try out, right? You know, this process of elimination, working from the outside in as you, dude, I was watching this Dateline the other day. Oh my God. It was about that dentist it was a dentist that got, uh, the his ex-wife's new boyfriend did it, you know, and he was in law enforcement too, which makes it even sadder. And the investigator was talking about how, you know, at first they never investigated this man, even though he hated this man. You know, the greedy ex-wife had already, you know, made sure of that in more ways than one, and all these things. And she was just like, oh, we just didn't think to investigate him. And then he ended up being convicted of the whole thing. You know, and it's like, but you know, the man who was killed, you know, his family kept calling and saying, why aren't you interviewing this guy, or why aren't you interviewing his ex-wife, why aren't you, you know what I mean? They held on to that vision because they knew something wasn't right. But it was just so interesting to me that even after all of that, that officer who never initially, you know, and it was because they were another person of the law, right? Like all of a sudden it's like, oh, well, I can't think those things about you, even though everybody was already thinking them. And the man, and the man had verbalized it, like in those, what was the movie, 12 Angry Men, where he's like, you know, he says in there, I'm gonna kill you. And he's got 11 witnesses, right? Obviously, he's not really gonna kill him, but it was still a threat, right? So this guy had done this all over, and yeah, we're just, you know, so I'm just saying, whatever you're manifesting, whatever you're working on that you know, okay, is the right path to be on, don't let somebody else tell you that some path isn't the right path, especially if you've already been down it. Okay? Yeah. I don't watch Dateline very much anymore, but oh my God, that was just, I think they were in Ohio or Pennsylvania somewhere. Anyway, and it was a shame too, because he was this dentist. It looked like he was a very well liked person, and he also had a son that he left behind. Adjustments are required. Never said anything what happened to his ex-wife. I mean, man, she'll get the karma though. You know what I mean? But I mean, wow. Talk about the greed that some people display. It's really sick, isn't it? And, you know, people with an Aquarian mindset don't typically get into that because it's very mucky and gross, you know? Yeah, adjustments are required. So, collective, you might be finding that people that are into overly material things are not what you seek at this time, and you might have to adjust some of that. Okay. I'm not saying you can't have nice things. I'm not saying you can't be successful. I'm not, you know, any of that. Right. Um, yeah. But, you know, sometimes there's what's behind the crystal is a sequin. Okay. You know, it's like they tried, but a sequin will never be a crystal. It's, you know. So, you know, if you need crystals and not sequins, you need to go to the crystal dealer, not the sequin dealer. Your dreams need a practical plan. Yeah, exactly. Right? You know, somebody could be like, well, I was going to have a beaded dress, and be like, well, here's a bunch of sequins. So it's like, I didn't want sequins. I want beads and like crystals and jewels and stuff. Right? When you start getting into the details, into the nitty gritty, it's like, oh, okay. Oh, you actually wanted it to look like that? Yeah, I did. That's why I drew it that way. Right? That's why I designed it that way. So, yeah. Make sure the practical part of your plan is achievable, is what I want to say. Okay? Yeah. So again, that may need adjustments, right? You know, a lot of times I see like these dresses that they order, you know, from whatever, and then they send them to the tailor, you know, or the dressmaker or seamstress, whoever, to do some alterations, right? It's like, yeah, and so these seamstresses will say, you know, they're like, look, remember what you're paying for on here, okay? So, you know, we're gonna try and turn it into reality, but yeah, what's the budget? Okay. Maybe it is maybe you can do this side half sequence, right? And then the centerpiece is the crystals, right? Whatever it is. Okay. I don't know why that's coming out. Oh boy. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Collective, I feel like we're coming up on time here, so I am gonna do, let's see, what else do we have here? Oh yeah, I'm gonna do some meditation cards for you. And then we will move on. I think I'm gonna keep it mostly about this stuff today, for the new moon reading. So I'll keep this more a new moon energy read, okay, guys? Guys and gals. My dog is taking a nap. She's got the rough life, let me tell you. I mean, she did have to bark viciously at the at the prophesizers out there. You know, they were polite, so, you know. Anyway. You know what I mean? Like, you don't have to slam the door on people's face if you don't want to. You don't have to answer the door either, right? Like, healing. Collective 2025 may be a time for you to be healing. So if you're worried that that was going to happen, please do not worry, because your time is now to be able to be healed. Okay. Listening. Okay, so when some of you may actually get on your hands and knees type to pray, and then do you listen for a response? How do you listen for that response? Are you open to it in a dream state? Are you somebody who maybe is clairaudient? Sometimes you might even get a feeling, right? You know, when like weather is coming, people will be like, they'll, you know, all of a sudden they'll be walking, all of a sudden they'll stop. And it's like, well, what are you doing? They're like, I'm listening. You know, it's like they're listening for the wind. They're trying to feel the, you know what I mean, the shift. And okay. I mean, have you ever heard something and it's like you go into the next room and it's like, I thought I heard some like music in here or something. You know, I mean, connection. Okay. So, what are these things trying to connect you to on your alignment? All right. You know, what kind of community are you connecting to? You know, maybe some of these projects you're working on will afford you opportunities to, you know, build new connections, right? And then knowing, yes. So I feel like a lot of you are getting some very kind of pointed type messages, okay? Where you are starting to hear those answers, okay? In a way where it's like, you know, yeah, I've been thinking about this a long time. I've even prayed on it or meditated about it a few times. And now it's like, yeah, I actually feel confident moving forward. Okay. Um, so sometimes that's what we need in order to feel better about taking that step, right? It's not always about seeking outside guidance. Sometimes the guidance you need is, you know, from a different source. Okay. So I hope you guys enjoyed this reading. Please do like or subscribe to the channel. Thank you everybody that joined the chat today, and it appears everyone has been very kind. I hope you enjoyed my fire that I have going. Of course, do observe fire safety when you are using matches and things of that nature. So till next time, please do manifest wisely. Bye bye.